It's been quoted that if having a soul means being able to feel love and loyalty and gratitude, then animals are better off than a lot of humans. The story of a dachshund that touched the lives of its owners and whose death inspired a nonprofit organization so that no other animals or families have to suffer is coming up on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Brian Lacey, and joining us in studio is Lacey Ball. She's the co-director of Oscar's Cause. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Also joining us is Annette Davis. She is the program manager for Oscar's Cause. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And last but not least is Vivian Bentley and Delilah. Vivian's the owner of Delilah. Delilah's a beautiful cat. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. Going to get things started with you, Lacey. Talk to me a little bit about Oscar. Who is Oscar?
Oscar was a beautiful dachshund. He was loved by his family very much. He was spunky and had an attitude of his own. Back in 2013, he was having some blood work done and having to go back and forth multiple times to the vet. And then closer on to around 2015, he had gotten really sick. So his parents ended up taking him to a specialist in Maitland, where they found out that he had Cushing's disease and diabetes. At that point, it kind of was so progressed that it was hard to really see if they could do anything. They tried everything that they could, but he ended up passing. And that's when they felt the need to share the love that he gave to them and make Oscar's Cause to help families so they don't have to go through everything that they did.
Let's talk a little bit about Oscar's Cause. What exactly is it? It works for a lot of animals, and you guys do a lot of different things. Let's talk a little bit about, first and foremost, the frontline stuff that you do.
Oscar's Cause is a nonprofit organization that is founded on the belief that every animal deserves a life to live. We try to help financially. Whenever you go to the vet, if something is going on that you might not have the money for, and we understand, and you feel your only option is to euthanize or something like that, we want to be able to step in and try and help. So it doesn't have to come to that. And try and make it to where we can help your pet, save your pet, get whatever you need. We also provide food, toys, blankets, any kind of things that you need if you're at a struggling point in your life and you need help. That's what we're there for.
You know, we'd mentioned in the opening that animals really are, a member of the family. Talk about the importance of the role that they play in your life, and of course, you honoring that role that they play and taking good care of them.
My pets, I know, are like my daughters. I have 2 little boys, but my girls are my girls. They're spoiled slap rotten, and I don't know what I would do without them. They go everywhere with us just like my kids do. So they've played such an amazing role. My oldest one was a rescue, and when I found her, she looked terrible. But we were able to bring her back to life, and from day one, when my son was messing with her food, she sat down and I said, "That's it, we're keeping her. She's amazing," and she brought us back to a family and made us whole.
I was telling Vivian when she showed us Delilah, I said, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but little girls, cats, and black labs, they all break your heart in the end.
Break your wallet too.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Annette, as program manager for Oscar's Cause, talk to me a little bit about what you do.
What I do is handle the financial assistance a part of that, and what I do is try to get the lowest cost to our partnership veterinarians in the area For an example, when Vivian contacted us about her cat, we did everything we can to get the lowest, cost with the veterinarians. And at that time, we were in the process of, getting partnership with all of the veterinarians in the area at a very low cost, so we can assist, the pets, the fur animals in the area.
Now, you had mentioned that you work with other veterinarians
Yes.
within the community, but one of the things that I've got to ask about is how do you guys determine how grants are handed out, and talk to me about the timely process, because obviously somebody comes in and has an animal and they go, I need this and I need this right now. It's not just going to happen like that. Talk to me
Right.
about the process and how it works.
The process is based on case by case, because every family or every per animals are different. Okay, we may have an emergency situation where we have to go in and, where we will want to go in and help immediately. Now, we do have a turnaround time for emergencies and non-emergency situations. Like I said, every case is totally different. And as far as the grants process, it goes back to every case is different. You may have an emergency situation. You may have a non-emergency situation. Going back to Delilah, that was an emergency situation where we tried, every possible way of getting, the financial assistance for her. So like I said, every case is different.
How is Oscar's cause funded? There's got to be there's got to be some sort of a funding mechanism.
Grants, and then also donations from the community. We are always open to getting any kind of donation from the community. Definitely that is what's going to help keep us going and help us be able to help all the pets out there, because there is multiple phone calls a day. So donations, and there's grants out there that you can get, and it's a process, and we're doing the process, but ultimately communities and donations from them.
Relying on the generosity of those that live
Yes.
here. One of the companies that stepped up big, and that's how I found you, local cable company, Drew at Bright House / Charter, helped you guys out. And really, I've seen the commercial a lot. Talk to me about how that's given you guys a shot in the arm and given you a little bit of recognition.
It has made it to where everybody knows, and we get phone calls every day. We've gotten phone calls for donations from it, and everybody I know will be calling and saying, hey, I seen your commercial on TV, and I'm like, yeah. And then so they'll start asking questions, and if you go out and you're wearing the shirt, or someone asks you, oh, so what do you do? And then you just explain it, and it gets them interested. And then that, I think, makes people feel like, oh, okay, well, I have an extra couple dollars. Let me go ahead and donate it. Or, oh, I need help with my pet. Let me call them and see what they can do. And that's what we're there for.
Now, Vivian, you have what we like to call in the business a success story, and that success story sitting on your lap, Delilah. Talk to me a little bit about your time of need. What happened with Delilah?
Well, Delilah had a mass on her hip, and we took her to the vet because we were concerned, and they did what they could in the vet's office. They did a biopsy, but they couldn't get enough results to figure out what exactly it was. And so she needed surgery, and it was right around Christmas time, and I'm a college student. It was a lot of money for me to be able to do myself. So I was looking for donations myself from people and from friends, and then in the process I heard about Oscar's cause. So I sent them my story. Within the next day I got a phone call that they're willing to help and work with me, and we were able to get her surgery where she got her mass removed, and she's healthy.
Let's talk a little bit about how she looks relatively young. How long have you had her? Talk to me about the timeline from the time that you've got her to where we are now.
Well, I got her as a birthday present when I turned 15.
Oh, wow.
So she's an adult cat. She's really small because she was a runt in her litter, and we even asked the vet, and they just said that she's just a small cat. So she's been my baby ever since, and now I'm 21, so she's 6. So she follows me around the house. She goes on rides with me in the car. She waits for me to get out of the shower. She's with me all the time.
So when did you discover the mass, and then where are we now? How far are we past the surgery now?
Well, I found out in about November. Around November, I figured out I
Of
felt the
2015?
of 2015, that there was a mass on her hip. And then in December was when we were able to get the appointment with the vet. And then in December, a few days after the appointment, I had contacted Oscar's Cause, and we had the surgery done within the week.
Now, what was the diagnosis? You said the biopsy couldn't diagnose it,
Yeah.
but once they took it out, what was the mass?
The mass was cancerous. There's not much they can do. It came from a vaccine, likely when she was a kitten, and is just now actually showing up in her body. So there's nothing they can do for the cancer, but they said basically just love on her as much as you can now. They removed the mass, which is helpful because it keeps it from spreading, at least from there. They said it's likely to come back, but I could have years with her now because of it.
Talk to me a little bit about what that means to you from the time that you were 15 to now. They've extended that part of your life, and this is a nonprofit that's out there within our community that you reached out to, and within days. Talk to me what that means to you.
Oh, it was a life changer. It was a lifesaver. I mean, she's like my baby. I have a sticker on my car that says Cat Mom. Like, she is my daughter basically. And when your loved one needs surgery and you can't afford it, you feel helpless. And they were able to make me feel like I could help her in some way. And now she has a chance at life with me. She's my baby and I love her so much.
There's got to be joy from your end that you bring to the community. Talk to me a little bit about what it means to provide a service like this to the residents of our county.
Oh, absolutely. It's heartbreaking in the beginning to hear, the sad stories of what's going on with these fur babies. And I'm a stickler, about seeing strays on the street or helpless fur parents. So when they come to Oscar's Cause, at the same time it's a joy because I feel like we're helping. We're helping these fur animals, the fur animals as well as the fur parents. So it gives me a great joy, to see that we're doing something for the community to help, the fur animals and, with the fur parents. Because believe it or not, we get a lot of distress, parents that calls in, saying that, we don't know what to do. We don't know who else to call. We got your number from a friend or we saw you on television. Is there anything that you can do? Anything would help us. And at that moment, we get into that mode where, we gotta, because we understand that these pets they don't have a voice. They don't have a voice, and they're reaching out as well. So it gives us great joy, to help these animals and their parents.
One of the things that you mentioned that I want to touch back on is you work directly with the veterinarians, and a lot of people think that veterinarians are just in the business and they're there to make money. You know that these guys have hearts bigger than anyone you've ever met. There are so many veterinarians here within Polk County that really want to help the folks out. And talk to me about the partnerships that you're forming with these veterinarians and saving these animals.
Well, there's a percentage that we ask the veterinarians to help us with, a small percentage discount, where we can assist more, with helping these animals. And the veterinarians have been so very helpful, trying to get these, the animals up healthy where they should be. So right now we are trying to partner up with all of the veterinarians and in the area, but they are very, very willing, to help not just us, because we understand it's just not about us, it's about, the fur babies. But they're very, very helpful, and believe it or not, we have so many now that we are trying to, get in different areas, and, and they're booked. And it's kind of hard, especially if you have to send a fur animal to an emergency care that is not, they're so booked, right now that we have to send them further away. And sometimes that get a little discouraging because we don't want anything to happen, to these animals.
Lacey, as the lifeblood of nonprofits go, it works with volunteers and, of course, the generosity of the community, donors, people that can help one way or the other.
Yes.
Talk to me about how folks can get involved and become a part of Oscar's Cause.
You can go to our Facebook page, Oscar's Cause at facebook.com. We have multiple events going on that you can get involved, like cute pet contest or, different Christmas events, Halloween events, like 5K walks and things like that. Or if you just want to volunteer one day or something like that, or just get involved, the best way is to go to our Facebook page or go to our website, which is oscarscause.org, and just give us a call, and we'll be able to get you involved somehow.
Lacey, Annette, and Vivian, and of course Delilah. Can't forget Delilah. I really appreciate you guys coming in and sharing your story, and I really hope the residents of Polk County get behind you and help further this cause and this wonderful your work that you're doing within the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, you at home. Oscar's Cause is a nonprofit 501c3 put into place to ensure that all animals can get the appropriate care that they need. They provide financial help for medical care, provide assistance beyond medical expenses to include food, moving, and everyday life necessities, as well as creating a no-kill shelter. Now, to find out how you can help more, you can give them a call at 863-288-8191 or look them up on the web at oscarscause.org.